2 clear, star 1. Starting 1.
Sierra Hotel, pass number 320, climbing number 330, radar heading 080 degrees.
So it's my last day in the office today for a couple of weeks, and I'm planning to go outside my comfort zone as I plan a 2-week trip to the Himalayas, off-road motorcycling up to the Forbidden Kingdom. Let's see how it goes.
James, get that foot on the brake, foot on the brake, foot on the brake right away. Woo! No clutch, no clutch.
This is no place to burn the clutch out. The problem here is the road's closed because there's been a landslide, and the digger, which you can't see, is round the corner now. So we're going to have to wait for the diggers to finish and then we start. And even now the road doesn't look very good to me. I'm not superstitious, but I'm not going to be the first to go around that corner. In reality, if I'd known what the road was really like beyond the corner, I wouldn't have been keen at all. The track was narrow, loose, and there were no barriers. Riding these loose surface tracks, the level of concentration is intense. You literally can't take your eye off the ball for a second. All the time you're scanning the track from 30 meters ahead all the way back to the front wheel. I'm aware of huge drops on the right hand side, and I'm actually very scared of heights, so I just don't look. I think back to my grandfather's old joke. It's not the fall that kills you, it's the sudden stop at the end. Well, this road takes the biscuit. Seriously. We did some stuff yesterday, but the drop-offs on this one are kind of mega, really. And you don't want to be going over the edge here. You don't want to be going very fast either, really. We're taking it a bit slower today. Here we wait for a 4-wheel drive Jeep to negotiate a tricky bit before we take it on ourselves. Josh, as leader, always goes first. Remember, these are road bikes and not lightweight at all. With limited suspension travel and designed in the 1950s, really we should not be using them for this. But that, I suppose, is part of the challenge. While riding on these difficult tracks, it's hard not to think of friends and family back home. I just don't want to make any mistakes here. Similar in a way to when I fly airplanes, I'd like to think I'm entirely competent. I'm just trying to get home in one piece, really.
The routine on the road, although that's rather a big description of it, is that the leader always goes first, and when it's a tricky bit like this climb up the side of a hill with a huge drop on one side, Josh will take it on himself and give a demonstration of how to ride it. And to be honest, you gotta say, it's a masterclass. Well, voyage of adventure today. This is a Yak Festival. Never been to a Yak Festival before. You could say these people are living off the grid, and you'd be right. But here everything's off the grid, really. So this is what all the fuss is about. A herd of yaks behind me. There's about 2 or 3 herds here, and all the yak herders, I assume that's what they're called, goat herders? Wouldn't be right really. Anyway, yak herders, and somebody at the moment is draining some blood from a yak for everybody else to drink, so that'll be interesting. Like I said, I won't be taking part in that, but apparently it's a delicacy, and the bar's open. The visit to the Yak Festival was an unexpected experience, and some of the things we saw were quite shocking to our Western eyes. But as tourists, we must remember that we travel to broaden the mind. It is not for us to judge other cultures and their customs. These people have been living this way for generations. They don't have much. Their rationale in drinking yak's blood is partly tradition and part nutrition. They actually believe that it is good for you. What does it taste like? Well, my friends say that it was salty and milky, and you had to drink it quickly before the blood clotted in the plastic cup. They don't actually hurt the yak, although I was expecting some sort of cannula and intravenous set. It's more simple than that. They just cut a vein in the neck and squirt it into the plastic cups. Riding on this loose surface on these sandy tracks, and it's pretty rough going. I'm always conscious of where the bike ahead is going. In this case it's Thomas I'm following, and I know that if he's gone there, I can probably go there as well, following his tyre tracks. Of course, it doesn't always work perfectly. Well, we call it the office, of course, but really it's the flight deck, the cockpit where the little pilots sit at the front. So not little pilots, damn.